also. כל הכבוד. And the רבנית רחל, תודה רבה. She just pressed the red button, and it has been recorded. תודה רבה. So let's start. Okay. So this evening, and I start in English. Soon I'm going to translate to say that in Hebrew. So this is the first time that we're going to hear a lecture in English in honor of our very respectful members of Raanana, the English speakers, Olim Vatikim, newcomers, old Olim, and even some Israelis attend this lecture, which is great. But the first thing I want to say, usually I do that at the end, I just want to thank two people that perhaps I haven't mentioned them yet enough, and this is the couple Corinne. Tzvi and Edna. Tzvi, don't be so surprised. Tzvi, I see, is our technical aide, and he helps every lecturer in panic, including me, okay? When I gave my lectures, so thank you. And Edna, actually, she's the spirit, she's my counselor. Whenever I have questions, I'm not sure who to invite, so Edna comes up always with her good advices. So thank you very much, Tzvi and Edna. Now, again, very happy to host this evening Sara Silber. She's an educational psychologist specialist, a certified family and marriage therapist, a business and family mediator, and a collaborative, no court, divorce practitioner. Okay, excuse my accent. Now, in her private clinic in Raanana, Sara helps children and their families with a wide variety of issues, such as parent and teacher guidance, treatment of children with learning and emotional difficulties, attention deficit and hyperactivity, sensory sensitivities, and educational placement decisions. She is the child, and this is very important, she is the child's advocate wherever his needs have to be met. And tonight, Sara will give us a Zoom talk on stress and anger management. In this talk, what she wants to do is to teach you tools for handling stress and anger in your daily life. Everyone, adults, teens, couples, and families, whoever breathes, will benefit from these coping methods. ועכשיו בזריזות לעברית, שרה סילבר היא פסיכולוגית חינוכית מומחית, מטפלת זוגית ומשפחתית מוסמכת, מגשרת עסקית ומשפחתית, מטפלת במקרי גירושים שרוצים להגיע להסכם מחוץ לבית המשפט. בקליניקה הפרטית שלה ברעננה, שרה עובדת ומטפלת במגוון בעיות של ילדים ומשפחותיהם, כגון הדרכה להורים ומורים, טיפול של ילדים עם קשיי למידה וקשיים רגשיים, הפרעות קשב והיפראקטיביות, רגישויות תחושתיות והחלטות של השמה חינוכית. היא העורכת הדין, האדבוקט או הסנגור של הילד לקדם את בריאות הנפש שלו במערכות המעורבות איתו. ושרה תעביר הרצאה באנגלית בנושא של התמודדות עם לחץ וניהול כעסים. מה שהשאיפה שלה היא ללמד כלים להתמודדות טובה יותר בחיי היום-יום, וכל אחד יפיק תועלת מלמידת הכלים האלו. זה הניסוח, אז בהצלחה ותודה. Sara, you can start now.
Yes, okay. Now I have to put the presentation on. Hold on. I think I have to go back to minimizing this.
Do share screen on the bottom.
Share screen on the bottom. Hold on. Hold on.
Just click on the share screen, green symbol on the bottom.
Yeah, the thing is, because I got all the people on, I lost it.
You should still see it. Look on the very bottom, share screen. Green symbol, right smack in the center bottom.
Yeah, hold on. Hold on. I think I have to go back into the thing initially. And now I just see you.
Move the mouse.
Oh, hold on. I'll press it here.
No, just move the mouse.
Hold on. I got it. Okay, the only person I see now is you, but
forget about who you're seeing.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
you have to click on share screen on the bottom.
Oh, the share screen. Hold on.
Move the mouse till you see the bottom green symbol, share screen.
I'm not getting it. I have to go into the I'm sorry about this. I had it before, and then when I moved the pictures, let me start from the beginning, okay? I have to enter the computer from the beginning, I think.
No, you don't. Don't go out.
Because from your picture, I don't see the.
You don't see the bottom.
I don't have any options.
Shake the mouse or the mouse pad.
Can I suggest that you emailed Svid or I the presentation? We could share our screen and you can tell us when to move.
I see talking Elisheva. I see exit minimize video. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, I got it. Hold on.
Oh.
Now you have it?
Mazel tov.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry. Okay.
We're not angry.
Sorry. Okay. So I'm always happy to talk about a life quality issue and stress.
But we don't see you. Put the video on. We don't see you. Click your video off.
Oh, okay.
Just the video symbol. That's your own video. Next to your box. Or way on the bottom left.
Okay, now?
Yes. Okay.
Now it's okay. Sorry.
No.
Okay. Okay, so I'm always happy to talk about quality of life issues, and managing the stress and anger in our daily life is certainly falls into that category. It is a quality of life issue relevant for everybody, caused by people and situations. Why is it important for anger to be expressed? Take a look at this page. We do not call as acknowledge our feelings and open an honest way to ourselves. The psyche will find a way to let us know that something is wrong. And either one of these symptoms, these are more for adults and for children, and we will feel generally bad. What we will talk about today, 7 steps. 1, how to recognize red zone signals in our body, thoughts, and actions. How to express the emotion physically. How to calm down. Self-talk. Analyzing the anger from obvious sources. And decoding subconscious triggers that are not obvious. And then solving the problem that got unnerved to begin with. So the first step is recognizing signals. We start to get it up. And there are 2 types of signals. Body signals, thought signals, and action signals. We want to detect these signals early on and be proactive. before the intense feelings overwhelm us and become too strong to control. So, some examples of body signals: increased heart rate, feeling hot, sweating. Thought signals: it can be negative talk about yourself, saying things like, I'm so stupid, I hate myself, I give up. It could be negative thoughts about others. I hate him. I hate the world, people, everyone. And there could be action signals. Somebody has to mute themselves. I hear background noise. So any of these, if you start yelling, crying, bending, trembling, fidgeting, withdrawing.
Sorry,
Yes.
there's a problem with your audio. Are you using an external microphone?
No.
Are you using a microphone that's plugged into your computer?
Yes.
Okay, make sure push it in. It may not be pushed in all the way into the laptop, into the computer. And your voice is shaking, the audio is shaky.
Oh.
Just make sure the connection is tight. Push it in, just to make sure that it's tight.
And whatever I see, I'm pushing.
Just make sure it's pushed into the computer.
Yeah. Any better? Is it better now?
That's here.
That's here. Okay, so these are the action signals. I'll move closer,
Okay.
maybe that will help. That any of these start to develop, or the thought signals or the body signals, the indication that you're entering the red zone. We'll call it the hot zone, and that you need to start doing something before you get better. Once you detect it, you want to do something. And the first thing you want to do is express your emotion physically, if you're in a position that you can do that, in a way that is suitable for you, and it helps you release tension. Many of us are dealing with children. These are ways for your children to express. Anything that you're shaking, kicking, socking.
You're on mute now. You need to unmute.
Sorry, we lost you. Put it.
Okay.
Okay.
I encourage families to have an angry corner in their home where they have a table with a few things that are readily available for children, and that they are directed to that corner when the parents see that the child is getting irritated and excited. That's ready to have a table with a Play-Doh, a pillow that's already earmarked, and a boxing bag is ideal. I stand in my clinic to use that. Any of these are good and not expensive to have. At the same time, for children, of course, we know what's acceptable, this whole frame of behaviors. And parents are instructed how to ways. They encourage the appropriate ways to express behavior and give consequences to the inappropriate responses, so that the child learns exactly what is allowed and what is not allowed. For adults, you have more options, because you can go out and do things, running it, slamming it. Here's what Rudy Giuliani does. It's more powerful if you can verbalize your anger and gusto as you act it out. So if you say while you're jumping rope, I'm jumping out the stress that was by my colleague, such and such, or I'm running off the disappointment I had, I would get, or I'm punching out the embarrassment I had in front of the group when the instructor said such and such. There is to actually say words and to punch and bang and run and slam with the same intensity of your feeling. What other activities do you in the audience find useful for physical energy release? Do you have other ideas? If you raise your hand, Sri will
Sorry,
call on you. And you will
sorry,
unmute. Yeah.
your audio is still cut off from time to time terribly. Maybe put, where is the microphone? Where's the actual mic? Maybe put it close to your mouth. Let's try that.
I
Maybe
don't really
hold-
have a mic. I'm just talking to the same place where I'm looking, the computer camera. Is this better when I come more forward?
Okay, right now it sounds better. Let's try it
Let's see,
again.
I'm leaning forward. Let's see if that's better. Okay, so after we've expressed it physically, we want to find a way to calm down and relax our body. So we have a few techniques. Some of them I'll demonstrate to you. Counting to 10 is one that we all know already. Deep breathing, I want to demonstrate that to you. We take in the air through our nose to the count of 4, and then we exhale to the count of 5. It goes out a little slower than when we took it in. And you want to get the air in very deeply. If I take it in, I can put my hand on my stomach and feel it going out, coming in rather. And then when I exhale, I feel the stomach deflating as it goes out. So let's do this together. In, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. And then out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, in to 4, through the nose. 4, hold it, and out to the count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's actually scientific evidence that proves that the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide in that way causes chemical changes in the brain that helps get us to the relaxed state that we want. So if you do that 3 to 5 times in a row, that will be very effective. Another technique is the muscle ragdoll technique, where I crunch myself very much like a ball. I hope you can see me. I'm putting my head down to my knees. My shoulders, I'm tightening them. I'm bringing my head down. I'm curling my toes. Everything is very tight like a ball. I hold it for 5 seconds. And then I shake. I relax and I let everything go like a rag doll and hold that. And while I'm doing that, I'm taking the deep breaths. Let's do it all together. I'll tell you what to do and you'll follow the directions. So once you do it, you own it. So you're gonna put your knees together, thighs together, shoulders tight to your chest. Now stop bringing your head down. Make yourself like a ball. Bring your feet in. Make yourself as tight as you can. Curl yourself up. Feel your forehead getting wrinkled up. Tight, 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 tight. Now, shake it loose. Spread out. Shake your hands. Roll back as much as you can. If you're on a swivel chair, it works nicely. Take some deep breaths while you're doing that. And you can feel that that is helping release tension. Okay? Can you hear me better now that I'm talking louder?
Yes, it sounds better.
Sound better, okay. The next technique is called visual imagery or visualization. And that is bringing up a memory. And we use all of our senses to activate the memory. And I will give you an example. And I've used this visual scene for the last, 30 years or more. So my scene is snorkeling in Eilat. And I usually do it with Robbie. So I'm using my visual. I'm visualizing him, the beach, the people, the water, the pretty colors. I activate hearing. I'm hearing the children laughing, maybe a boat in the background. I'm trying to activate temperature. I feel the cool water that I'm swimming in, but also the warm sun on my back. I activate the sense of taste. Maybe I'm tasting watermelon I had before I went in. The sense of smell. Maybe I smell a little salt in the water. So I do that in order. I'm close my eyes. I bring up the visual, the auditory, temperature, taste, smell, and then I go back to the beginning. I keep going like in the same circle, bringing in more details. So then the visual will be the fish I'm seeing, the Picasso fish, the puffer fish. I visualize the colors. Maybe I'm hearing more now, the ripple of the water, and so on and so forth, until the event that I'm trying to distract myself from is gone. So if I'm in the dental chair, I'm thinking of it. If I'm doing a blood test, I'm thinking of it. I did it now during the flu vaccine. I didn't even know they gave it to me. I said, what? All gone already? All over? So it's a wonderful thing. And it's like your program. You bring it up. Once you do it a few times, you don't even have to think about what do I say? What do I think about? It becomes an automatic tape that you can visualize. And it's wonderful. They use it in hospitals. Medical science has shown that when you are deep into a visual memory, a scene like we are discussing, the brain, as far as the brain is concerned, it's as if it's actually happening in real life. The chemicals that are emitted for your well-being are the same, whether you're actually doing it or whether you're imagining that you're doing it. So it's just quite amazing that you can cause such good wellness in yourself by thinking of nice images and memories. It could be the visual imagery that you're using for relaxation, the one that you decide to pick. It could be something you've actually experienced. It could be something you've read about, something you want to do. The main thing is that you include all the elements of all the senses. So everybody take a minute and think what scene you're going to use for yourself. Okay, take a minute and think so that you'll leave here having that tool. Okay, we have them. There are additional methods of calming down, of emotional expression, dance, music, art, drama. These are all helpful in expressing our emotions, but are not a substitute for the physical energy release unless it is done vigorously, like in Zumba. Another very important technique, which is easy to use, is called helpful coping self-talk. That is, what do I say to myself in the moment of stress to help me program myself differently so that it will not be such a stressful situation? I can say things like, take it easy. I can handle this. I'm going to be all right. It's okay if I'm not good at this. I'm sad that friend doesn't want to be with me, but many other friends do want to be with me. I'll just try my hardest. Quick recovery. I use that one a lot. Here it's only 2 words. That's like a quick prompt, but the long version of it would be, too bad that happened. Too bad I had to start my day with that unfortunate stressor, and I feel bad about it, but I'm not gonna let it ruin my day. I'm going to see what do I have to do about it to get out of that funk and move on. I'm not going to let it take over. I'm going to jump back to myself and continue on. So that's the long version. And when I say to myself, just quick recovery, that's giving me the whole message. And right away, it helps me do what I need to do to get going and move on. Think of a self-talk message that will help you with a current stressor. And what self-talk messages could be helpful with corona stress? Okay, anybody have a stressor they want to talk about, and what self-talk message you could say to yourself, knowing now how good a technique that could be for you? Anybody? Or say with corona stress, what could we say to ourselves?
Quick recovery.
Quick recovery, right? Right? You could say, this is the situation. I'm going to deal with what I can. I'll make the best of the day. So I can walk 1,000 meters. Where am I going to walk to? Where do I want to exercise today to make it nice? A different street that I haven't been on, a different view that I haven't seen in a few days. Who can I call to have a social contact? I'm allowed to make phone calls, Maybe I could walk with a friend. I can get a delivery from a place. Who do I want to give my business to today? I will make the best of the situation. This is it. This is the new reality for a while. I'm not going to mope over it. I'll take the best out of it that I can take. Those would be examples of self-talk messages for Corona. Remember, you are in control of your reactions. Your brain must be the boss. Now we want to analyze. So we've spoken about the signals, getting it out, stressed out in a physical way, calming down with those few techniques. And now we want to get back to what made us angry in the first place. So we want to analyze what made us angry. We want to see, do we have a solution to the problem? Maybe we have to speak with the person who offended you. And you want to ask yourself, was my inner reaction proportionate to the stimulus? Am I making too much of it? Am I exaggerating my reaction? Is my affect, my emotional reaction inside overdone? You want to analyze that because maybe it was overdone. If you notice exaggerated responses, you may need a psychologist's help to identify inner stimuli or unconscious triggers as they are difficult to detect, such as fear or anxiety that stems from childhood. In other words, you may be reacting to something else, not really what you think is aggravating you at the moment. And I want to give two examples of that. A woman who was constantly going into a bad mood after her husband would give her a correction. It was really constructive criticism in a nice way, a nice fellow, a good man, not meaning any harm. And anytime he said something that we could do this a little differently or do it a little, maybe kind of differently and better next time, if we do it this way, this or that, even as far as putting another spice in her food, she would take it very hard and go to her room and withdraw and be sullen for a while until she got back to herself. It turned out upon investigation with the psychologist that she had been brought up by an engineer, very pedantic father, very perfectionistic man who had always corrected her on everything. And she grew up feeling not competent. And that's what we call the subconscious trigger. The present trigger was mild constructive criticism by the husband, which should not have been taken so harshly, but she reacted in an exaggerated way because she was really reacting to the subconscious trigger. So her reactions were more extreme than they needed to be. Another example, a woman in her 30s who came to me to talk about her boyfriend, wondering if she should continue the relationship or not with him. And I asked her to tell me some things that bothered her about him. And one thing was that whenever they had a disagreement, he would take it very hard, try to get her to agree with him. And if she didn't, he would say, we're not meant for each other. I'm going to leave. I can't take it. I'm going to leave and we'll break up. And he would actually leave. And then a few days later would try to reconcile and say, let's try again. So I asked her to tell me about him. And she said that when he was 3 years old, his father had walked out on him and his mom. He remembered the parents disagreeing and the father then looking at him in a very big stare and at the mom walking out the door and him never seeing him again. So to me, it was obvious that the disagreements he was having with the present girlfriend were not the real triggers to his walking out and his agitation. The real trigger was the subconscious trigger of his childhood, of the parents arguing, and then the dad walking out, the fear of abandonment. So he was reacting to that trauma, which he had not yet processed with any professional and not had yet come to terms with in any way. And I told her that he would not be able to sustain a relationship with any woman because he could not handle any disagreement. And he would need individual therapy for at least a year to work on his trauma before he would be ready to go out with girls in a meaningful way. And she was very glad to get her, advice, of course, and not waste her time anymore with him until he would be helped. So those are examples of subconscious triggers. that if you have exaggerated responses in a consistent way, and friends consistently tell you you're overreacting, why are you so angry, it's such a little thing. If you hear that a lot, you got to ask yourself, maybe I have subconscious triggers at play here and I need professional help to uncover them. And that is not easy for somebody to do themselves. It is normal to need that kind of help if you need that help. So decoding subconscious triggers with professional help, the psychologist will work with you to decode them, to figure out what you really are reacting to in the present, give you a realistic understanding of the stressful situation, and strengthen your coping skills. Read this chart of the short and long-term effects of decoding subconscious triggers with a professional, realistic understanding of the situation, better coping methods, finding better solutions to issues, more control of realities in life, a better sense of security, more fulfilling and healthy interpersonal relationships. All of that in general and in total, leading to a higher and better quality of life. Imagine that woman now, one who was criticized by the husband and who took it so harshly. Imagine her now after being helped, that now she could have a conversation with the husband, they can talk about other possibilities, and then she can go on having a nice evening rather than being sullen in her room. There are differences between children and adults that I want to talk about. In children, we will see more of the extremes of inability to handle anger. We have many cases of overexpression, tantrums, physical lack of control, and breaking, hitting, banging, ripping others' material, knocking things over, throwing objects. In those situations, the psychologist will need to assess if there is a biochemical basis for the impulsivity, in what we call ADHD, and what environmental factors are reinforcing the behaviors. Sometimes we have children that have underexpression, repression, all is held inside, sometimes not even acknowledged to the child himself. Here are some common diagnosis of children, some common symptoms of children who are referred for psychological help, the basis of which can be the repression of anger. I get a few of these a year in my clinic. Digestion problems is a common one, constipation, symbolic of holding in, not letting out. These children come to me sometimes after a whole year of invasive investigation by the gastroenterologist, and they finally tells them there's nothing wrong, the child needs psychological help. And you just feel like crying that the kid has gone through all that when they could have come to the psychologist first. And I urge all parents who are dealing with kids with digestion problems to come to the psychologist first before they start with the medical procedures. Stuttering is a symptom. To say or not to say, the child is in a conflict. Can he say how angry he is at his younger brother who's taking his toys and breaking his Lego? Or does he have to be the good big brother all the time? Or daddy will not like him so much, love him so much, so he holds it in, sometimes not even admitting it to himself. And you can get that symptom. You can get eye tics, to see or not to see, to say or not to say. Those are the conflicts about admitting his own anger. Obsessive compulsive behaviors, rituals, frequent hand washing, excessive cleanliness, which results from trying to cover up the inside feelings of filth and guilt resulting from aggressive fantasies. The children who have guilt over their aggressive fantasies try to cleanse themselves and keep their whole environment very meticulously clean. If you see obsessive cleanliness, that's a sign of a symptom. Rigidity to rules and schedules, inflexibility, the need to control because the overwhelming feelings inside may get out of control if there is not strong, super strong control. I must control the world very tightly or those bad feelings will come out. So everything becomes tight and controlled. Another possible symptom is fears. The child who is denying his own anger and feels that it is a threat to him from loss of love of his parents. So the psychology, the psyche does a process where it becomes projected onto the world. It's not me that's angry and bad. The world is angry and bad. And if the world is bad, then that means it's dangerous. I have to be afraid. So fears are the opposite coin often of repressed anger. The treatment of children who have repressed anger and have all those symptoms is play therapy. That is the ideal mode of treatment. I do a lot of that in my clinic. And the play therapy itself is very short term, 3 or 4 sessions after the diagnosis has been arrived at. It's playful, it's fun. The child is not anxious when he's doing it. His guard is down and the symptoms just melt away. And I've been doing it for many years. And each time I'm floored by how effective it is. With the digestion problems, 2 sessions of play therapy could do it. It's just amazing. And as far as the psyche is concerned, it doesn't matter if the child is actually expressing the anger in words to the source, or if he's expressing it in symbolic way. As far as the psyche is concerned, if aggressivity, in this case with this boy, is expressed, it's done. The goal has been accomplished. Of course, I will, with these children, after they've gotten it out symbolically, work on emotional communication in a verbal way, that they should be able to talk about what's bothering them. But the first step in loosening up the situation and unplugging the plug is getting the anger and aggression out in symbolic play. Here, this boy looks very happy because his wolf bunny is chewing up the bunny puppet of his mom. By doing that, he's expressing his anger symbolically, accomplishing the goal that we want. I do strategic play therapy, which means I have my goal in mind, what I want to accomplish during the session as far as the child, and I try through play to accomplish that goal. So if the child picked the puppets as his medium of expression, he could also pick musical instruments, he could also pick art, he could also pick boxing. If he picked the puppets and he starts to play, then I will help create a situation where the aggressivity will be expressed if I think that that is the underlying cause of his problems. So here you could have a boy who never says boo to anybody, who could be very goody good boy. And here we're giving him a chance to be the one shooting and shooting even at the family. But he's fine because it's play. And he's not bad because the parents are still playing with him. So it can't be bad. And it's fun and it's good. So the symptom can be gotten rid of through this way. Also through dance therapy. Look at this girl here. Look at this one here. The instructor can give a message, a mission, choose a posture, how you would want to scare away a girl who's coming into your room, who you don't want her to come into your room, for instance. And she could get them to show their anger and aggressivity in this way. If the girl with the symptom is this girl and she picks the puppets and she gives her mom this little chicken and she's the bunny, she may start off with very nice little play of a tea party or something like that. And I will say, wait, they have to run away. There's a wolf coming and there's a hole here and there's only room for one. Whoa, quickly, you got to run to the hole. And then they have to fight over the hole, or they have to fight over getting the carrot, the one carrot. And the girl in this symbolic play, when she's showing aggressivity to the mom through the puppets, is getting out the anger, and we already unplugged the source of her symptom. Here's the boy of a family of divorcing parents, and he chose art. Look how angry he depicts himself. He is not saying that directly to the mom, but he's able to express it here. And by expressing it with the psychologist through the therapy, his symptoms will go away. So play therapy is the ideal therapy for children because it's short-term treatment. The child's defenses are down because it is play, very powerful, and it's in a playful setting. So here's a summary of what we spoke about till now. The importance of acknowledging our stress and anger, identifying signals that show we are now in the red zone, options for physical expression of stress and anger, ways to calm down, including deep breathing, muscle relaxation, visualization, and self-talk messages. We spoke about analyzing the source of our anger. Is it obvious or subconscious? Is professional help needed to help us identify hidden triggers? We spoke about solving the original problem that got us angry in the first place. And we spoke about special aspects related to diagnosis and treatment of children. So that's it. And now I'm open for questions.
Okay, you can unmute yourselves, whoever has a question, just ask away.
Sari,
Yes, say your name.
it's Edna.
Hi.
Has business picked up because of Corona?
Say, I didn't hear the beginning.
Has there been more business, more
Oh,
need
more
for
business. I cannot say yes. I think people are hard pressed financially.
Uh-huh. But there's more stresses out there. You believe that you'll be seeing a lot of business when it's all over?
I know there's a lot of stress on marriages, and the marriage therapist who I've spoken to said that it's taken a very big toll, the Corona, on marriages, and a lot of couples could not stand being with each other so long for so much time during the day. And there are going to be a lot of divorces, unfortunately, as a result.
Or
It's either made it stronger. It's either made it stronger or it made it weaker. They're not wanting to be with each other. So, but marriages were not meant for people to be so much time together during the day. So that's too bad. And of course, the situation of kids who are not treated nicely by their parents got much worse, because if they're being talked nicely by their parents already from before Corona, and now they're with them all day with the stresses of being together so much, it's caused worse. More abuse, unfortunately. These children are a very, very difficult situation. Children who are not having a good family environment to begin with, who were then stuck with the same family with nowhere to go out, and not being limited. Very bad. The whole thing is very bad as far as the social consequences caused by the isolation. Yeah. The social workers don't even have time. One boy went to a policeman and said, I can't be with my family anymore in the room, and they're even hitting me. And the policeman said, I can't deal with you. I have more important things. Everybody's so stressed that the people who need it the most aren't getting the attention they need. I'm not a social agency, but I hear about what's happening there too. It's bad.
Sorry, I have a question, Janice.
Hi, Janice.
Hi. You seem to indicate that excessive cleanliness, like OCD, obsessive compulsive, is psychological. Isn't it also true it can be genetic as well? Certain kids just are born that way. They want to always clean up to an extreme extent almost. So can it be both genetic as well as sometimes psychological?
Right, for sure. In fact, all the things I mentioned are not always psychological. Stuttering could also be not psychological, and so can eye tics. But often, I just see the cases that are excessive cleanliness. They actually found the medication that has to be given to calm down the corpus callosum, which is the membrane that connects the two brains down here. There's something off there that's responsible for obsessive compulsive behavior, and there is chemical treatment for that. But
yeah, but most parents, at least that I know, are not into that. And is there a psychological way of dealing with that type?
Yes, the psychological way
instead of medicine.
Yes. Well, first, look, whenever medicine is an option, the parent has to decide. The psychologist and doctor should both be consulted. The genetics, of course, will help determine what's the probability of it being handed down genetically. But if there are no genetics in the family of obsessive compulsive and extra cleanliness, and the child is very, very obsessive, you have to suspect that there's psychological aspects behind it.
Okay.
If there is genetics in the family for that, then you have to suspect that there is a chemical imbalance, which is coming down genetically.
Yeah, well,
Then the psychological will not help if it's a chemically balanced.
that answers my question.
Yeah. That's why the careful analysis is the first step. A person with something like that should speak to the family doctor and speak to the psychologist and get the perspectives of both, especially before long-term medication is being considered and or invasive procedures.
Okay.
Mary, I wanted to ask a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, just tell me who you are.
Really?
Oh, hi, Alicia. Hi there.
I wanted to know, do you find that kids are usually able to detect before they get into the red zone? Do they have that like self-awareness usually, or what age do they start to develop it?
That's a very good question. Well, it certainly comes with maturity. It develops with maturity. There are chemical imbalances related to that as well. Kids who are who are behaving impulsively because of a lack of dopamine will have less chance to process awareness, even if they are aware. They feel and they act.
Mm-hmm.
You imagine by first grade, a child is expected to sit in his seat, and in Western educational systems, even if he wants to get up, he knows not to yell at the teacher, even if he's angry at her. He knows he's angry, but he has to still be quiet. So usually by first grade, we expect those functions to develop, at least to a state that he could be a student.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, in younger ages, we know that kids are going to be more impulsive and blurt out, but we expect it to keep getting better and better.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And also there are some cultures where blurting out and showing your anger right away is the norm. We have to take cultural aspects too. Western children are trained more to hold it in, to wait, to think, than non-Western children. So sometimes I see a whole family. I think the child is the problem, and then I see the parents, and I say, wow, he's like modeling the parents. It's not that it's this culture that he's being brought up in. So that also has to be looked at.
Do you also see married couples?
Yeah, I'm a marriage therapist, sure.
Not just kids.
Yeah. That's why Rachel ran off all my credentials.
When you available next?
As soon as you make your appointment,
Do you have a problem, honey?
I don't know who said that. It's not for me. It's for my friend.
Ah,
My friend tells me that he knows his wife is always right, and she's always right. And how do I get my wife and my friend? How does my friend get his wife to sometimes say, even if she's right, say, you know what, you're right. One time. It's for my friend.
How do you get the wife to tell your friend?
My friend's wife. My friend's wife, not me. My friend's wife. I have a friend.
If I had $1 for everybody who tells me about their friend.
okay.
Any other questions?
But it's interesting how different cultures are also more aware of the different needs of the children. For instance, the Russians that I have, if their child by age 2 is not doing stuff, they're concerned, they come. And Americans are more behavior, they'll come earlier than other people. And it's just interesting how different cultures also look at things differently. In general, I wanted to tell, in general, as far as parenting for the younger mothers here, how important it is to let the oldest child in the family say no to the younger brother and sister. No, you cannot play with this toy. This is mine. No, I'm afraid you will break it. I tell families to have a locked closet in the kid's room, the oldest child's room, that only he has a key to, and the parents, that no other kids can have access. A lot of the problems of children are related to not having protection of their space, property, personal effects. And as soon as you protect that, a lot of things improve very quickly if that's been a problem. In other words, we should not say to the child, oh, give it to him. You're the big brother. You have to, and you have to be extra good to him, and saying that all the time. That is not good to say that. You have to give him permission to say no. Give him permission to say, I won the game and I beat you. I'm not letting you win just because you're younger. You have to let the older have his space and protection and be able to be angry. 50% of kids with psychological problems are oldest children, when they
Oh
are
my
not
God.
50% of the population, because they are expected to be good and responsible and caring for the younger, and they don't feel that they can say, I hate him right now. Leave me alone. I want him out of my room now. They don't feel they could say that often without the parents saying, what's the matter with you? You're the oldest. You're expected to do it. So you should know that that's not the right way. He has equal rights, and he has a right to say no.
Oh, boy.
Okay, I hope that's the point.
Sari, I'm the oldest, and I grew up in a family, and I said the same thing to my kids.
You're the oldest in your family, not the oldest over here.
So you repeated
Okay.
the pattern. You repeated something negative that you had experienced.
Yes, well, I don't know that if when we used to say it's mine, my mother used to say there is no such thing as yours and mine. And I say the same thing to my kids. Motek, I paid for it. It's ours. It belongs to everybody. So,
Well, I'm glad your kids are okay. But often the families that come
who
to
says
me,
they're okay?
the kids that come to me, if they're especially twins, but even kids who are close in age and not twins, they have stickers on the toys, what belongs to each one, with one color one different color the other, and a different sticker to the shared toys that they can each that belong to both of them, but whoever takes it first gets it. And those are usually in a separate basket or cupboard. But the protecting the privacy and personal space of everybody is crucial. It's a basic human need for you too, for everybody.
Oh, okay. Never
Yeah.
had that in my house, and neither did my mother and her 5 sisters.
All right. Well, I don't know if they need an appointment or not, but you'll judge that.
Too late. Too late. The damage was done. Okay. Thank
Sari,
you,
maybe-
Sari. Very
Sari,
informative. Very interesting.
Maybe you can introduce me to that woman. We could make nice children together, maybe.
Edna, how do you let him out of the house?
Any other questions?
Yes, Sarah, I want to ask you, as an as an ex-social worker, do you see some common problems of children of divorced parents?
I mean, what? With each other?
It's a very general question, but can you say, because now more and more couples are getting divorced, so do you see some, general problems? I'm sure that there are a lot.
Yeah.
How they can cope with that very difficult situation?
Well, yeah, I deal a lot with children of divorce, and I deal with the divorcing parents, and dealing with the ones who are thinking of getting divorced. When they think the marriage has hope, then I do the family therapy. We try to, if they both want to work on the marriage. And if they've come to the decision that it's a lost cause and there's no help, no hope, then I switch into the mode of the divorce specialist. So I try to help them out if they both want to. The children, there are a lot of issues that are in common to those children. A lot of research has been done. It is traumatic. It is traumatic. They feel they have to take sides. That's a common issue. Do we have to blame? Who do we blame? So we have to take that burden off of their shoulders. They don't have to blame anybody. They don't have to get involved with whose fault it is. They have the questions of, did they cause it by being naughty, by not getting good marks? Did the parents fight, especially if the parents had fights over the upbringing of the children may blame themselves. So we have to deal with that in the therapy. The anger in general of now I have to, move around, one house to the other, weekend here, weekend there. How do I remember who I go to after school? That business. The issue of the depressed mom. If she's depressed, then the kids will be depressed. There's a lot of common things that have to be dealt with that we know already that have to be dealt with. Just by the fact of getting divorced, we know we have to deal with some basic issues of the children that are not expressed necessarily to the parents, like we saw in that drawing. So yeah, a lot in common. Yeah. Unfortunately, the divorce rate is very high in Israel.
Yeah.
I have people now who want to get divorced who aren't even married legally. So it's even more, some of them are married to people from other countries with not even the same visa. So it's even more, it's getting more and more complicated, you know, unfortunately. But since in a way it is so common, the children of divorce have that now as a helpful thing for them, that they have kids in their class who have divorce situations. So they can talk to their friends about that and compare notes. And so there is some, the only benefit of having more divorce is that the kids have some camaraderies that they could consult with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But probably sometimes the parents are not aware of the fact that it's very traumatic to their children. Maybe they think that if they can cope with it, their children will also be able to do that. And a child, for him, it can be just the end of his world.
Right. It's very important for children to have someone to talk to with the parent not in the room. And I try to make that happen. And I'm always so surprised that kids who do not know me from before, nothing, but they have me, they have my ear, and the parent is not in the room, how they unburden themselves and they find it such a relief. I'm constantly surprised and amazed, you know, to talk to a stranger about such things, or to draw it out, or to do it in a puppet show to show me what they're feeling. And it's very, very important. And parents should be more aware of the psychological. I think many parents today realize that kids need help in a divorce situation. Maybe you used to not be, but I think today more and more parents realize that. Yeah, and sometimes the children will create more symptoms in themselves to be a red flag. I need help. Instead of saying, I'm angry at the divorce, I'm feeling so upset, I'm feeling torn apart, they may develop a symptom. Maybe they'll steal, shoplift. Maybe they'll steal in the, you know, from the makolet, they'll pick you know, steal things, or be delinquent from school. In other words, if they cannot express the emotions in an honest, truthful way, whether to the parents or to a professional, the stress and anger will go somewhere. It can't just stay in there. It's going to find some outlet to show I'm in trouble. I have a problem. So I hope all of you will be psychologically aware to yourselves if you're stressed, and use some of the techniques we spoke about, and be aware of the children's needs. Know that play, when you are playing with your children, in any kind of play form, you're not just wasting your time to play with the kid. You're like, for the child, it's work. The play is work. He's working out his emotional feelings, and you're helping him psychologically. So know that it's an important part of your parenting is to make time for play with the children, with objects in the play arena, in the games, such as the gun, the revolvers, the wild animals. If you're playing with puppets, some more wild animals, some calmer animals, that all these things could be used by the child. Okay, so good luck everybody, and keep cool, keep calm, keep well.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Keep cool.
Thank
you very
you.
much.
Just a second, wait a minute. I don't want to.
Thank you, thank you.
Bye-bye. I don't know if it was a chat, but I'll take a look.
Because I want to talk about the our next session. First of all, Toda Rabba, Sara. It was very educative, and we learned a lot. Toda. Now, in 2 weeks from now, we will have something that is connected to Tu Bishvat. And of course, that the right person to do that is Eliezer Spiegel, our friend, our member of the Kehila. He is an agronome and an agriculturer. And he used to run the flower department in the agriculture ministry. He is an expert of planting house plants. And today, and this is very, very important, he develops new growing techniques, and he's a counselor, okay? All the naughty people from Chutz La'aretz, maybe some of the Israelis, but I'm sure that this is more American here. He is an expert of how to grow cannabis, okay? So if you need a good advice and you want to pamper your home plant of marijuana, don't ask Eliezer. I'm sure that he won't give you answer for home growing marijuana, but he would talk about it in general. אז בקיצור נמרץ ובעברית כפי שאליעזר כתב לי את זה, אליעזר שפיגל הוא אגרונום וחקלאי, ניהל את תחום הפרחים במשרד החקלאות, מומחה בשתלנות נוי וצמחי בית, וכיום מפתח טכנולוגיות גידול חדשות ויועץ בגידול קנאביס.
You can add that to the stress management techniques.
You know what? I think that it's a good, that would be a very good lecture after your lecture, because if people would like to have another tool and another technique, which really can help, okay, to cope with your anger and stress, just take a deep breath of cannabis and enjoy. עכשיו, סליחה, I must say, I never smoked. I mean, once at the university, I tried. I couldn't stand it. So I'm just joking, בסדר? לא אתמול ולא היום ובטח לא מחר. But we all can enjoy it. Yes. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Sari. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Be well, everybody.
לדבורה, לעדנה, ולצבי ולסיגל, כמובן, סיגל לוי.
Sorry, the beginning audio was not your fault. It was the shaky internet connection that you had. Later on, it just improved very nicely.
Just I had it, or the whole Raanana had it?
No, you. Maybe you. You're the only one who's speaking.
How did you discover that it was the internet?
It's probably because it straightened out by itself.
Oh, because I didn't do anything. I mean, I just tightened.
No, it's a shaky internet sometimes.
Oh, sorry. Anyway,
That's all.
sorry, it was a rough beginning, but okay, it got better.
So it's not you.
Okay, thank you, sweetie.
Thank you, Sari. Thank
Good
you,
to see
Rachel.
everybody.
Bye,
Stay well,
everybody.
everybody.
שרי, תודה לכולם.
Thank you, Sari. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
ארי, יש לך את המצגת בעברית גם?
היא תעביר את זה בעברית.
לא, יש לך את המצגת בעברית?
אני עובדת על זה. אם יש ביקוש, אני אגמור את זה. יש לי הרבה, אני צריכה מוטיבציה.
יש ביקוש, אני מבקשת.
את מבקשת, אוקיי, אני אעבוד על זה. רבנית, את תשלחי לי את ההקלטה?
כן, עוד מעט, יותר מאוחר הערב.
באיזה דרך? באימייל? במייל זה בא?
לא, בוואטסאפ אני אשלח לך.
את יכולה גם במייל?
תשלחי לי את המייל שלך, אז אני אשלח לך. תשלחי לי בהודעה. בסדר?
ביי. וכל הכבוד רחל ודברה לנגר שפרסמו ועבדו קשה להכנה, to prepare it. Thank you, רחל.
היה מצוין, הכל היה בסדר גמור, שרי.
Thank you.
הכל עבד בסדר.
היי גילה.
גילה, יש הקלטה. גילה, יש הקלטה, יפרסמו בידיון בסוף שבוע. אוקיי?
What do you mean? The recording of this will be on the newsletter?
תמיד דבורה שמה קישור של ההקלטה.
Oh, right. Oh, excellent. Very nice. So that will be like...
אבל אל תקבלי קישור ישיר.
ישיר, אוקיי. Very nice. Protect
טוב, תודה. להתראות.
Bye. Thanks again. תודה רבה לכם. Bye.
Bye.
You have to leave? Okay.